The things that are killing your sex life that have nothing to do with sex. This is a two-part series, okay? Today we're talking about things that are particular to higher libido partners. Next week we're talking to lower libido partners, and there's some things that apply to both in both episodes as well. So make sure you have a listen. So for my higher libido loves, okay, you've been told to lay off and wait for their libido to just magically return. You've been told to create safety and keep the pressure low. I say that all the time, of course. The problem is that following this advice can lead you into roommate mode, especially the waiting for the libido part. Plus, the longer you play it safe, the more you start to fear you are never going to have sex again, or that this is the way your relationship just is now after kids. So, how do we actually get back to the feeling of being wanted and connected when we're in the chaos of kids? Like I said, I want to show you 5 ways that you are fucking with your sex life with things that actually have nothing to do with sex. So let's get into it. So the first way that you are accidentally killing the spark is making your partner your emotional therapist. Okay. So we know that emotional intimacy and emotional vulnerability creates connection. It is part of the glue in your relationship. But overly relying on your partner to be your therapist and to fix all your stress and to manage all your emotions for you is an absolute buzzkill. The number one culprit here, in particular for men, is not having friends. Okay. A perfect example. One of my husband's besties from childhood came and stayed with us for a couple weeks. He's a lovely human. He's an uncle to my babies. It's so fun when he's here. And one of the biggest benefits I see is that I go to the bedroom, they stay up late, they're chatting about turning 40, they're chatting about the meaning of life, they are processing the big heavy topics. Now, I love having those conversations with my husband as well, but sometimes we have them on repeat. And sometimes I get annoyed or frustrated with the repetition of his musings. Likewise for him. Okay. He can get tired of my shit too. And so it kind of alleviates this pressure valve on our relationship for me to fix or process his big things because he's got other outlets for that. When your partner is emotionally managing for you, and that can look like you being stressed and frustrated from work and not processing that and taking it out on everybody. It can look like you being emotionally distant. It can look like a lot of things. When your partner's emotional caretaking for you, it doesn't feel like you're a safe place for them to melt and land. So one of the best things that you can do for your sex life is actually get a village, not just a spouse. Counselors are great, but so are friends. So are places to vent the feels. All right. Point number 2 is what I call the passive parenting trap. So when life gets stressful, do you check out? Do you pull back from the kids and the house just to regulate yourself? Do you spend more time on the golf course, more time in the garage, more time sleeping because you have like a hypoactive stress response, right? When we go into I'm stressed, I'm going to pull away disconnect mode, and men and women can do this, okay? We create distance. So there's kind of this dance between point 1 I just made and point 2, right? When you are stewing in your stress and you're not aware of it and you're not vocalizing it and you're not letting people know what you need, there's like this big wall between you and the people you love. And that makes sex harder to achieve. At the same time, if you're verbally dumping those feels on people all of the time and you don't have healthy outlets to process it, then you are also creating disconnect as well. So the biggest thing here is that we need to become emotionally aware humans. We need to take care of our own shit. This one goes both ways in our house because there are definitely times when I'm super stressed out and I'm acting like a controlling B word, and my partner has to be like, yo, you need to take a breath and go take care of your stuff. And there's also times where like my partner has stuff going on and I'm like, I need to see that you are taking care of your things. The sexiest fucking thing is when I watch you come in the house and I see that you're a ball of stress and you send me a text and you go, I know I'm a mess. Here's my plan to take care of myself. I'm going for a workout. Can you watch the kids for 20 minutes? And I'm going to make sure that I start eating better over the next 3 days. Okay. Self-leadership, taking care of our own shit, fucking sexy. All right. Point number 3 is the doormat dynamic. Now, this has a different flavor, whether you're a man or a woman, penis owner or a vagina owner. But the thing here is kind of like that good guy syndrome. Some of you think that niceness is currency that you can trade for sex. And what I mean by that is a lot of you become like an emotional punching bag for your partner. So they are stressed, they are critical, they are annoyed at everything, and you take it. You tap dance around the whole situation. You give them everything they need to feel better and regulate. You're doing all the things, and it's not changing anything. And so the challenge here is that becoming a doormat really is not the vibe in your relationship. It's this issue of self-leadership again, where we both need to be self-aware and know what's our stuff and take care of it. But we also need to show up with a backbone and lovingly hand our partner's problems back to them. Okay. I have a lot of guys in the program, especially who start alone, who join me with Naked Fun Comeback, who like their partner's just this like hormonal raging, like all this stuff is happening, but she is not taking care of her stuff. And he is quietly tap dancing in the background, being the nice guy. And he's afraid to step up and go, hey, this is a problem. You don't get to treat me like this, right? Respect goes both ways. We don't get to take our shit out on our partners, and not allowing your partner to take your shit out on you is scary, but it's also sexy. So we want to stop trying to be perfect, and we want to start being real. I want you to stop eating it all the time. And as scary as it might be, like one of the sexiest things my partner ever did, and I think this came from his de-escalation training that he did in law enforcement, is learning how to just like very gently mirror back what I was spewing out at him and trying to make his problem back to me, to say, yeah, you're giving me this, and what I'm hearing is you're stressed. Is that true? There's an art to this, but it is key. So if you're hearing these points and realizing just how much roommate energy has taken over your house, I don't want you to panic. This is exactly why I created the Roommates to Romance Challenge. We take a lot of these dynamics, like the emotional therapist trap and the doormat cycle, and I give you the actual step-by-step process to stand up for yourself, to deal with rejection in a new way, and create the flirt and the fun in your relationship that brings back the runway to sex. Link is down in the show notes if you want to join. All right, we've got 2 more points here. So the 4th point is the digital wall. All right. When things are awkward or the house is full of tension or we're all stressed as fuck, it is so easy to turn to the screen. You're in the same room, but you're in different worlds, or you're watching TV and scrolling at the same time. What I talk about here is that your nervous system is tricking you. It's telling you that what you need is to check out from your stress. And that will usually give you temporary relief and gratification, but it won't give you true rest or true pleasure or connection. The antidote to stress is actually often meaningful connection to self and to partner. And so next time you want to reach for the phone, and I know we're all guilty, or you want to reach for like just a show that you can zone out on, what if you set a timer for 2 minutes and you like journaled and just spat out your feelings and then asked yourself what you wanted to do? Or what if you set the timer for 5 minutes and you sat with your partner and you just shared how hard your day was together, and you just heard each other, and you didn't comment and you didn't fix and you didn't anything, and then you decided what you wanted to do? Sometimes our nervous systems trick us into thinking that disconnection is the antidote to the stress that we're feeling, but the science shows otherwise. We want that dopamine, we want that serotonin, we want all those yummy things that come from connecting with a partner. Okay, last one is the pressure cooker. And this kind of ties back to the very first point of making your partner your therapist. For many high libido partners, sex is the only way that they know how to feel okay or loved when life is hard. It's like your primary tool for emotional regulation. Some people reach for sex as that outlet for the stress that they're feeling, and other people push it away. And often we're married to each other, okay? What happens here is that sex becomes a thing that your partner does for you to help you feel better. She's doing, or they're doing, emotional caretaking for you during sex. That is not a sexy look. It's not a sexy vibe. When we're in caretaking mode, not only does that exacerbate the like already all the time taking care of everybody mode, but it turns it into a chore. It turns it into a job. I am having sex to make you feel better, right? We want sex to be a place that we both mutually go to enjoy pleasure. It doesn't need to be a job. We don't want it to be a job where our partner is caretaking for our emotions. So, when we learn how to regulate our own feels, when we learn how to manage our stress in ways that are not sex, sex can become a playful playground again instead of a job for your partner. All right, my friends, those are 5 things that higher libido partners are doing that don't really have to do with sex that are killing your sex life. We want to make sure that we are doing emotional leadership, that we have friends and other people to vent to, that we are not disconnecting during stress, and that we are not tuning out of our parenting responsibilities when we are maxed as well. If you recognize yourself in these points, you are not a bad partner, okay? You are stuck in a cycle, and in particular, if you are male, this is how you were socialized to live and show up in a relationship and in a partnership and in your parenting. There are reasons for that, but they are not excuses. Okay. So, this is your invitation to start changing that dynamic. The Roommates to Romance Challenge is literally $9. It's a 14-day challenge. I give you 5-minute tasks you can do every day for 14 days to start to shift out of this dynamic. And there's also 2 really helpful emotional regulation tools to help you start dealing with rejection differently and reconnecting with yourself. If you heard something that landed for you today, I want you to choose one point from today. Maybe it's calling a friend to vent instead of ditching to your partner. Maybe it's putting the phone away tonight. Small shifts change the dynamic. I will see you in the challenge, and I will see you next week for the things that lower libido partners are doing.